Hey guys, welcome to another portfolio update video. So a couple of big topics we're going to talk about this one. I'm going to first start off by showing you how the portfolio is doing and how much profits we're taking in. Next, I'm going to talk about Tesla for two big reasons. The first reason being that Tesla is probably one of the fastest moving greatest momentum stocks that we have in the market right now. And my second reason is because I have such a big position in it that I do want to share with you what I'd be planning to do with my Tesla. Just because I have a lot of things that I've already done this week with my Tesla position, and there's a couple of big things that I'm looking to do. So I want to share that with you just because it is going to be life changing. Next, I'm going to also be sharing a few swing trades that I'm finally starting up again, just because there is interest in my Discord community. And after that, towards the end of the video, I'm going to be talking about some actual long-term restructuring that I plan to do in the portfolio, which is actually very important because that's kind of it's kind of like the lighthouse in terms of where I'm going in my portfolio. It's kind of giving me direction and it's moving me towards a certain path with my portfolio. So I'll be sharing all about that if you can get to the end of the video. So without further ado, let's get started with the portfolio update. So we've had a massive week this week. Crazy amount of gains. Let me just open up my Wealthsimple. So I think the last video we were probably around 290s, worth maybe just 300,000. I can't remember off the top of my head. And now we're up to 312,000. Actually, towards the end of market close, we were actually at 315,000, but the market sold off just at the end because of Jerome Powell's warnings. So we lost a couple grand, but that's fine. I'm still quite bullish in the medium term with this market. Next that I want to show you, and I haven't shown this for a while, do you want to show how the portfolio is doing in terms of profits? So because of the Trump tariffs and how terrible of a week April was, finally the damage that has been done in the stock market this spring is showing up on my spreadsheet. So I show you my losses just like I show you my wins. If you look at the most recent swing trades that I have on the spreadsheet, I haven't actually had any swing trades since March. So March 31st was the last one where I did a second swing on Visa. And then after that, after March 31st, I haven't really done anything. So no swing trades in April. And then now, because the market is picking up in May, we're back to doing swing trades. I did one on Microsoft on May 1st that I sold for $165. This was shortly after earnings, and Microsoft had a really great earning then. And then most recently, this week actually, so May 14th, just 3 days ago, I sold one small portion of my Tesla position, and I made about $1,700, $1,800. So pretty happy about that. So yeah, so you can see here my 2025 profits. I haven't updated the May profits yet, but January we were at a profit of $1,800 from the swing trades. February we have $1,500. March was only a paltry, measly $127, but April, that's where we see the damage. So you may see this and see, wow, okay, that's not very good. But actually, to me, and to anyone who owns a portfolio, you know that this is actually a win, because if we sold any stocks during April when the market was that bad, that is a loss. If you held your stocks during April when the market went through that kind of a drop, you're actually profiting in the long run if you think about it, right? Because the market has dropped, and you saw for me, I was actually doubling down on some of my positions. I dollar costed average down on some of my major positions like SoFi and Tesla. And so now that the market has reversed, we're going to be rewarded even more, which is why actually in the long scheme of things, we actually like some of these market downturns, because yes, in the month of April, in the short term, you see it's a $0, profit, but no loss if you sell. And then as the market bounces up and start to make new all-time highs, we're going to be making even more money if that big drop that we saw this April did not happen. So excited to show you what May profits is going to look like at the end of this month. All right, so let's go back to the portfolio, and I want to talk about Tesla. I think Tesla has become like a cornerstone in my position. Just to show you how much Tesla I have in my RRSP. Again, I have a big position here about, let's see, if we look at the book cost of this, $45,000. If you saw my previous videos, you would know that this is actually not the Tesla that I bought myself. It was bought by my relative, which currently this RSP I'm managing for them. Because if it were me, I would never buy it at an average price of $378. I think that's quite high. So during the month of March and April, after obtaining this RSP and going through the shit show that we saw with the market in April, holding it was the best move, right? And we've held it, and now that Tesla is rallying up, we could finally start to see some green for this Tesla in the RRSP. So we are currently down 10%, but if Tesla does move up, this is going to finally turn green. Because Tesla did get pretty close to my price here, so I'm at 378. Tesla did manage to climb up to about 350 before meeting resistance and then going back down. I did manage to sell a cover call on it, so I sold one for, I think, let's see, I think I sold it for about like $330. Let me see if I can see it, my transactions. Yeah, so I sold a 380 call for $315, which was a profited premium that we collected. So that way, it's kind of helping to minimize the loss. But yeah, I want to talk about Tesla just because I think this is such an important stock. I think for me, if you saw my videos, I've made a lot of money on Tesla just back in November, not even, well, close to half a year from now. I made close to $6,000-7,000, maybe even $8,000 on Tesla, right? And if you saw what happened there, it was with Tesla, basically going around. I'm just going to put this onto the chart of Tesla onto the screen here so you can see. So back around October, September, we were, dollar cost averaging around here. And I had probably like a 228 average. And we had a couple of events where people just automatically expect Tesla to go up because, Robotaxi was being introduced, and also the humanoid robots. But those events didn't do really well. And then bam, we had that one earnings where Elon Musk just knocked it out of the park. He said all the right things that investors want to hear. And also that, sales were better than expected. And we saw this huge jump and spike up to the 300s before it was announced that Trump won the election and then moved all the way to 480. So if you saw my videos before, I was selling probably starting around like 320s, but I was selling even at 350 and even as it was going up. And as we got into about 420, I started a new position in Tesla. And that one was a very small position. If you watch my videos, you'll see it was a very small position, probably like $500, $1,000. And I had a plan to spend about $30,000. So only, 1,000 or 1% of my initial, actually less than that, like 0.3% of my total investment I was going to put at the 400s. And then as Tesla kept dropping, we kept buying. So today, what you see with my Tesla position here is that I have close to, I have a $27,000 position in Tesla, and we are currently up about 9%, which is about a $2,500 gain. And I haven't sold a single stock of this, okay? The 1748 profit that you saw in my swing trades, that was done on my YTSL, okay? So if you recall, YTSL was my ETF for Tesla, and I sold that, okay, because my average on that was about, when Tesla, with regards to the Tesla stock price, about 300. So at 350, I sold, and I made about 3 months worth of dividends, which is about $400 or $500. So I had that 1748 profit. But actually, my real position is here. Something I really want to say about Tesla, because I just feel so passionate to talk about Tesla, is and why I made so much money last year, and also I'm looking poised to make big bucks again in Tesla again, is because I think there's a big misunderstanding of Tesla. Tesla, people look at it, especially this year. They saw the huge drop in sales and their vehicles. They see the challenges of China, and they also see Elon Musk being Elon Musk, getting political, and that was actually like a test for Tesla. I think that was if there was any point in recent history where Tesla had a chance of actually evaporating and going bankrupt and disappearing as a company, this was it, and they survived it. And if Tesla can survive what Tesla went through this April, they could survive everything, which is why I think, given what happened in their recovery in the last week or so in Tesla, I feel pretty confident about Tesla. It's not a very, it's not considered a low risk stock, but with what happened, I have confidence. And something you have to understand Tesla is that it's not about the sales. If you look at the sales, or if you look at the PE ratios, and you're just basing whether you want to buy the stock based on that, you're not going to understand Tesla, and you're not going to make any money. Something I learned as a real estate agent is that it's all about hype. You can have the crappiest house in the world, and this is a comparison to, let's say, a stock, but if you have 1,000 people who's bidding $10 million for it, it's not a crappy house. It's a $10 million house. So you have to take in consideration the fugazi behind a stock. Okay, if people love it, it's worth what people are willing to pay for. And that's what I've always said about Tesla. So before I move on to my next topic, I just want to say that for me, it's all about understanding Tesla and the price that's at. Right now, in April and May 2025, anytime Tesla's in the 400s, especially 450 and above, I would say it's overbought. I would say it's high risk, and it's somewhere that I'm a bit skeptical of. Okay, Tesla, I believe, will make all-time highs in the 500s and maybe 600s in the future, but no one knows for sure when that's going to be. All right, so I think 450 is a high for Tesla right now. Okay, and I think anything that 200 is a low. So if Tesla today is trading at 340, 345, I think it's about fair priced. And again, you might be thinking I'm ridiculous for saying that. At 340, Tesla has a P ratio of a few $100, yada, yada, yada. Again, like I just said, the fugazi, right? It's what people are willing to pay for it. And given everything that's happened with the stock in the last 2 years, I think it going to as high as 480. And if it gets bullish again, it might retest that, or, give the lowest lows back in April and going back down to about, what was it, like 220. I think 300 is probably around fair price, anywhere in the 300 range. So I'm sitting at about 310, 320 with my $27,000 Tesla position that you see here. And I'm not planning to sell. I think if Tesla hits about 380, 390, I probably will start to sell a bit. I might trim I might sell like $8,000 worth of Tesla around that point, and then if Tesla gets into 420s, I'll probably sell another portion, and then if Tesla gets to about 450 to 480s, I might sell again, maybe my whole position. And that's not because I'm not bullish about Tesla. It's just because if you've watched me until now, I'm a very conservative investor. I get into risky stocks, but it's a calculated risk. I'm actually at heart a very risk-averse investor, and I think Tesla can get to 500 to 600. I'm bullish on Tesla, but I feel more comfortable selling at a price that I know is not an all-time high, just because I know that the chances of hitting that is greater than waiting for it to go to all-time highs. Okay. All right. Next thing I want to talk about is swing trades. So I am starting to look at swing trades all over again. In fact, because the market was so terrible last month in April, that there were actually a couple of really sweet swing trades that came upon my table, which I didn't end up buying. So I did know about Pony AI right when it was around about $9, $8, $9, and it's recently it's jumped to 17, 18. All right, so it's quite high. So I wouldn't recommend anyone in my Discord or following me in these videos to buy Pony at these prices, because I think the run has already gone up. But something that I did alert my Discord earlier this week, which I think actually you can still look at it. There might still be a chance to get in here. Is RDZN. RDZN is basically a small cap stock version of Pony AI. And I am right now looking at, if you look at the technical analysis, it is very bullish. Okay, so we're expecting more breakouts with this one. But again, nothing is 100%. This is just based on charts and empirical data, right? And on trends. So always make sure that you have a stop loss if you are going to swing this. But I am actually in this trade. Again, you can see how conservative I am. I only bought 200 shares. This is trading at like $1 or so. So I feel like it's been a while since I did swing trades, and because it's been a month or two, I think the most comfortable I felt this Friday buying RDZN was only $200 worth. But if you saw me in the previous videos when I was just doing swing trade after swing trade, as I get more comfortable, I like to go up to about 500, 800, maybe $1,000 for a swing trade. But because I'm kind of rusty, I'm only at the 200 level mark right now. So if we do more swing trades, I probably will invest a little more. And I was actually planning to get in at 106. That was the price that when I alerted the Discord, that was the price that was shown on my screen. But I didn't get it, so I got it a little higher at 108. And then when it got to about 112, I sold some. No, sorry, 111. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, so it got to 111. I sold some. So I only have about 100 shares left. Even with the 108 to 111 move, because the price is so low, every 1 cent increase is it makes a big difference. So I think at 111, I was selling at like a 6 or 7% gain, something like that. And I made like $6 or $7, something like that. It wasn't a lot. But I think I'm just looking for this to go back up again. Currently it's at 117 after market. I try to, if you look at my account, I tried to sell it at 117. Actually, I was trying to sell it at 118. Don't know why this is not showing. I was trying to sell at 118. Didn't work, so I altered my order to 117, and it got 117 right at the end of the after hours. But because we're Wealthsimple and we're a free app, even though it was at 117, I didn't get to sell at 117. So that's no big deal. I think next Monday to next week, I think it will probably keep running. So right now at $1.17, even with 100 shares, I'm up $9, 8%. So yeah, I'm getting back into swing trades just because that's something that my Discord is interested in. So I think I probably will alert this and invest in a few once some more good swing trades come upon me. All right, last thing I want to talk about in this video is I have some long-term plans that I'm thinking about. So what I believe, like, I'm not, if you're to ask me what kind of investor I am, I'm not a pure options guy. I'm not a pure swing trader. I don't see myself as a day trader. On the other hand, I don't see myself as like necessarily like a long-term investor where I keep my money in the market for like five decades. I'm not that kind of person either. I think and this is probably just my upbringing, my background. I am whatever I've become and what I've grown into. So what I mean is my approach to investing is that depending on how much money I have in my portfolio, I'm going to act differently. Okay, I'm going to play the game differently. So what I mean by this is, for example, let me give you an example. And this is something I learned when I did options trading. So if you had a portfolio of $100, would you be more high risk or would you be more less risk? Well, with $100, because I lose so little, I'm willing to go all in, go super, super high risk with $100, risk everything to double that money, right? Because I only have $100, right? So, but what if I have $1 million? Would I risk $1 million dollars, all the money I have, just to go to 2 million? Well, not so much, because I have so much more. So a $100 portfolio is very different from a $1 million portfolio. Okay. So what I mean by all this is that as my portfolio grows, I'm going to become less and less risky. Okay. So, at $100,000, I was willing to take more risks than I am at 200,000. And now that I'm at $300,000 and I see how much of my stocks currently that I hold are in the red, and I know, and I have a timeline for all of these. There's a timeline, there's a day for each of these stocks to turn green and turn to a point that's like, 10% up, 20% up, maybe 60% up, that I'm going to eventually sell. By the time I think I'm going to sell all these stocks, I think I'll probably be at a $400,000 to $500,000 portfolio. So I see this happening probably next year or two. So in the next year or two, I'm planning to put more money into my portfolio as I have more disposable income on the side. And I'm also going to see some of these stocks that I have turn green or greener than it is. And I see by the time all this is added into my portfolio next year or two, I think it's going to be at $400,000 or $500,000. At $500,000, I'm going to be making decisions with my portfolio very differently, and I probably will share this with you right now. But I think by that point, I'm probably only going to have just like 6 to 8 holdings. All right, very different from how I do it now, because I think if I were to look at my Blossom right now, I have about 24 holdings. Right, in my TFSA, I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My RSP, I have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14 already. 6 plus 8 is 14, and then in my non-registered, I have another 3, 15, and then in my non-registered margin, I have 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, right? 23, yeah. So that's what I feel comfortable with today at about $300,000, okay? But when I'm at $500,000, I want to play it safer, and so I'll probably just be trimming everything to about 6 positions. And right now, what I have in mind is S&P 500, QQQ, and 2 to 4 stocks that are high risk that I really, really believe in. So right now, what those stocks kind of look like for me is probably like a Tesla, SoFi, Palantir if I eventually buy back into it. And I don't know what the fourth one would be. Right now, just based on today, it's for me, it's an Amazon, but that might change. That's probably how I'm probably going to move towards. If I have a $500,000 portfolio, I would want like $300,000 of that to be allocated to S&P 500 and QQQ, the index funds, and then the remaining $200,000 to be put into a couple of stocks that I know is going to be high growth that I'm willing to hold for a couple of years, and I believe is going to outperform the market. So that's kind of where I'm moving towards, but I'm not there yet. So I'm looking to get out of a lot of these positions in the next year or two. Okay, and like I said, I have a different date for when I'm going to get rid of each of them. But at the same time, I'm going to keep doing swing trades to boost my like how much money I make, and also cover calls so that I can maximize my profits with the profits and the resources that I have. And then when I do get to about that $400 to $500 range, I am looking to start changing my portfolio to a less risky one. So before I end this video, I just want to leave you with a couple of things. A couple of things I'm looking forward to be doing in the next little bit. So next week, the market, I see a relatively fair to good chance that the market will drop. It won't be a big drop, like a temporary, shallow kind of drop. But after the drop comes another bullish acceleration increase of the market that's going to be even greater than the highest peaks we saw this week. All right. So looking forward towards that. And because of that, I have trimmed some positions so that I am going to be ready if there is a dip that I'm going to buy. So that's part of the reason why I sold the Tesla. Okay, my Tesla ran from 300 all the way to 50. So I took the profits, but I also wanted to keep that money on the side to buy more when the buying opportunity comes. So in my TFSA, I have $10,000 and 500 ready to spend, and in my non-registered Canadian account. So if you watch my last video, I'm now using this non-registered account just for my Canadian holdings. I have 8,000 to spend, and not as much in this not in this margin account, but I believe if I try to do a transfer, that this one has about 2,500 US dollars that I'm going to spend, and this one not as much, 700 USD, just collected from selling cover calls, so that yeah, if there is that drop in the market that I'm expecting, that I'm going to be ready to buy with about something north of $20,000. All right, we're going to go fully invested, because I think the market is turning bullish as we move on from here. A lot of great news out there. The Middle East, investing in Trump, and the U.S. market, and also the semiconductor market of the U.S. I just see a lot of great things on the horizon. We really did have that moment of surgery for the U.S. market when Liberation Day came, but I think from there to where we are now to where we're moving towards in the future, I think we have more sunny days than rainy days ahead. So I'm going to stay completely invested. So yeah, that's all I want to share in this video. So again, we're up to $312,000. So up $56,000 this past month. And again, I'm confident to show my overall gains right now. It's because I haven't done that for a while. In the last 2 months, it's been painful. But all time, we're back up $26,000 or 9% all time. So, and as we go through the rest of 2025, I believe this number is probably there's a high chance of doubling. We're gonna be up $50,000 sometime, maybe hopefully this year. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you stay with me on this journey because it's been pretty fun, bumpy but fun. And I'll catch you in the next video.